What's the title of this film?
Bloody Muscle, Bodybuilder in Hell.
She was saying that like some tongue twister throughout the movie.
It is a tongue twister. Bloody Muscle, Bodybuilder in Hell. Bloody Muscle, Bodybuilder in Hell.
Yes.
Bloody Muscle, Bodybuilder.
So this was recently added to Shudder in a film that I'd been hearing about for a few years. It wasn't commercially available to watch or buy or something until like 2017. I had read in the trivia, even though it was made all the way back in like 95.
Yes.
Anyways, so this is known as the Japanese Evil Dead. And it is even listed as a remake on IMDb. So there's this bodybuilder guy who's really not that big. I'm buffer than that guy.
He just kind of works out as a hobby and to deal with his emotions.
Yeah, whatever. But he takes his girlfriend and some psychic to his dad's old house because it's creepy and the girlfriend wants to see something creepy and wants to take some pictures, and they bring a psychic for whatever reason. And they get inside and they get trapped inside, and then the psychic is turned into a deadite. And they have to fight off this deadite throughout. The movie is very short. It runs at about 63 minutes. The quality of the film is super poor.
It's bad.
It's 4:3 aspect ratio and really, really poor video quality. And I'm assuming this is probably the best cleaned up version that exists because it's on Shudder. But so those are, I wouldn't really necessarily call those downsides of the film. I think it does kind of add to the film's charm a bit, is that it feels like a bootleg that you like happened upon that was like, you know, in someone's VHS collection. It's like an unmarked VHS, and you throw it in, and you're like, the hell is this? And it's like some student film that was remaking Evil Dead for fun. And that's what this is. It's just kind of friends got together and made a love letter to a film I'm sure they love, and this is the result. And my biggest takeaway from the film for sure, and something that actually surprised me a bit, but it makes sense, seeing as how it's an Evil Dead remake, and this is what Evil Dead is known for, the original as well, even though it's uber low budget like this. The effects were very cool. Very, very cool. I really liked all of the practicals and how they shot things. There's a lot of like clever camera work for very amateur filmmakers who are just having a good time making this. They actually got pretty creative with what little they had and created some really cool practical stop motion. They used pictures and added some animation over them. Whatever they had, whatever they had at their disposal, they really, really used it. And I was super impressed by the practical effects in this. Some are downright horrifying looking.
Yeah, I think that is the
But in kind of a comical way.
It is very comedic. It is very zany and Evil Dead. But yeah, the practical effects are really cool. And even at the end, there's like some very memorable shots that they're just memorable. They're really neat. And I liked, the quality of the footage being bad. Like I do like that it gives it that feel. Because, nothing is, since it's so ultra low budget, like I don't know that I really want to see anything super clear. Like maybe some things, but I think it would make it not as charming and not look as good.
Yeah, it wouldn't look as good for sure.
You
would see the flaws. Yeah, big time.
But the way it is now with the grain and everything, like it's perfect like that. I thought it was fun. It's kind of ridiculous, a lot of the things that are going on are insane, but it's very Evil Dead. And the main character even says groovy at one point, and
come get some, I think he also says.
So
yeah, I mean it's not verbatim, Evil Dead at all.
No.
It
No,
has
no.
similarities for sure. But if you took Groovy out and the two lines, I would definitely be sitting here being like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Evil Dead.
I think I would
Right.
be heavily reminded by it, even removing those lines, and it's because the main character, I felt like he was really kind of imitating like Ash's
Sure.
facial expressions.
I guess
There's a
you're
lot of,
right.
like,
I would say that
work
it
and,
felt
like,
inspired by, but I
Yes.
wouldn't say it was like a straight up recreation because it just isn't.
No, it isn't. It isn't a straight up recreation. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, mostly, a big part of that is because it takes place inside this house, mostly inside this one room, the entire film. In fact, the character in the beginning buries his dead girlfriend or wife or whatever in the floorboards. He takes a shovel and starts digging up his own floor inside the house because you just do not step outside in this movie.
Yeah, it's super
outside of
exterior.
there is
shots
one
of the
exterior
house.
shot of them talking on a
Yeah.
different porch and then them pulling up, but any of the action, any of the stuff that's happening is inside a house. So when he it actually reminded me of when the Maitlands are digging up Beetlejuice in the
yeah.
model, and they're digging
Picking
down
up,
into the
this
cork
dire-
board.
Yeah, the cork board. Mm-hmm.
And it was just funny to me when he started digging into the floor. I was like, "Oh, we're just gonna pretend this is outside, I guess." I don't know. You can't just lift the floorboard up like that, because it was just one piece. It was
Yes.
one piece of plywood. Another, I had already mentioned that they'd use pictures and then kind of animated over, or just pictures, and then they'd put an arm in front of the picture like it was the person's face. That stuff was really funny. Another thing here is the abruptness
Oh my
of
gosh.
the music cutting off
It was
every
so
10
funny.
to 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was every scene would have a bit of music. It'd be really intense, and it would just
Stop.
stop. No fade
Dead.
out. Nothing. Just stop dead, and then you're on to the next scene, which sometimes had totally new music, and it was very funny. Very, very funny editing. I don't know. I'm assuming that was just because amateur.
Sure.
But it's kind of cute though, and even using the pictures and having all that stuff, it is just kind of charming. It doesn't look amazing, but I like the creativity, and I always admire when people, they're just using whatever they can to make it as best they can.
Yeah. It's definitely a very cool practical effect in that includes a hand and a head. That's all I'll say.
Yep.
And in addition to that,
Cool.
what do you think of the final look, the final face of the villain in the end?
I mean, that's the memorable.
Yeah.
That's the memorable thing. It's not like Drop of Water,
No.
but it is really great. It
Yeah.
was definitely a WTF moment for the entire last part of the film. We were both just what is it? What is that?
I was worried about 10 minutes in that I was really just not going to like it. And I thought it was just going to be some super amateurish, kind of boring wannabe film that didn't have, it was going to have all cutaways and we weren't going to see anything. And it was just going to be goofy and trying to be charming, but wasn't. But they really won me over. And once things really started getting ramped up, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
These guys are really going for it with the special effects. That's where this film greatly succeeds.
Yes.
Everywhere else is kind of a failure. And that's not a knock. That's just these guys had no idea what they were doing behind the camera or in front of the camera outside of their special effects. They were just special effects guys that were we don't know what the hell we're doing otherwise, but we're just going to put those heavily on display and just be goofy and have fun. And that's awesome.
I mean, this is definitely the type of movie that would be a cult movie.
Oh,
it's a
definitely
B film, and the practical effects carry it and everything. But in all other senses, there's a lot to improve upon, objectively. But it's still a lot of fun and such a quick watch.
Yeah.
If you like Evil Dead, I think it's worth checking out.
Absolutely. They also added Evil Dead Trap 2 on Shudder as well, which we'll watch soon. I've never seen it. Big fan of the first one. We reviewed it on the channel not too long ago, and very excited to see that it's on there. The second one, both were just added actually. Evil Dead Trap 1 and 2. So if you haven't seen the first one, I can recommend the hell out of that, especially if you like something like Malignant. But yeah, this is I'll tell you this. I think what excited me most about this is yet another film that made me feel like I wanted to make something. Like, why am I not making something? People are out there making shit like this. Why am I not filming something? It's just so annoying that I won't get off my ass and do it. I'm just scared or lazy or both. I'm not sure. But Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. Definitely worth your time if you like really shitty knockoffs of better movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're a Japanophile.
Japanophile?
Japanophile, that's...
Is that
right?
That word? I don't know.
If you like kinky. Japanese stuff. Sounds kinky? No, it's like an
sounds
Anglophile.
Good to me. What?
Like an Anglophile?
Yeah.
I feel like I made that.
Shouldn't that be like Anglophile?
What did I say?
It's Anglophile.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it should be like
Anglophile? Like
Shouldn't
England?
It? Yeah.
No, because... Because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Bye. Watch it.